Hey everybody, Rabid here from Unbreakable Gamers. Some of you know me, some of you don't. For those who've never seen me before, pleased to meet you. Yeah, I thought I'd make a video today. It's not a bit different from the usual game reviews and stuff, gameplay videos, and just talk about, some things. Of course, this might be a bit of a awkward video. I never scripted whatever I do. I just one shot it and see what happens. But yeah, what can I say? I love gaming. I work in IT, mostly web design, primary skills with graphic design and stuff like that. I spend a lot of time at computers. I have a wife and kids, and yeah, working in IT, yeah, at the computers quite a bit. I've got to be sort of on call all the time for clients and things. And I play video games to escape the everyday life. It's my main vice, my main outlet. And I've been gaming for a couple of decades now. As you can probably see, I'm not exactly on the younger side of things. But yeah, the world's got enough politics and dramas and stuff like that I play games because games are fun and you want to get away from the world. A bit of escapism for a while. But I'm sort of like what you'd call a first gen game. I've been around since Space Invaders could be played at the arcades. Chuck your 20 cents in and go for it. And games are fun, games are great. And like anything that's good though, alcohol, weed, even aspirin, chocolate, even foods and things. A lot of things out there are great in moderation, and gaming's exactly the same. If you do it here and there, a bit of relaxation, it's fine, it's great, it's fun. Computers are great and they're fun. Social media, and just computer and stuff in general. If that's what floats your boat, Xbox consoles, PlayStation, whatever. But it's all things in like moderation. And I've noticed as time goes on, if you see today, this is sort of like the point of my video. If you look around, I'm sitting here, I'm outdoors. Despite being involving working with computers, because of experience, I know what it's like when you get too involved in things. I've been there, I've done that with games. It's easy to get attached to people now, with thanks to the online. You can have mates in America, you can have mates in England, you can have mates the next state over, you can have people in the same town that you've never met in person. And it's easy to get too involved in things, especially as games are now becoming more detailed, more involved, larger. You get games these days, like games like Ark, you basically got to dedicate your whole life to it. It's the moment you log out, somebody can come along and kill you. Games like Star Mage, as you see from my videos, and those who know me through TeamSpeak and the game itself, and various forums, I'm obviously passionate about the game. It takes a long time, you've really got to spend at least a good 6 months in the game. Not a whole 6 months, but over a 6 month period of a few hours here and there. To really get anywhere, to build your ships and stations and things. But you've still got to get outdoors. You've still got to get away from the computer, If you don't, it becomes toxic for you. There's a reason we've got this great big thing here called the sun. It provides us vitamin D and stuff like that. Now, I'm not trying to take the piss out of anybody here. It's an actual fact. We're not designed to sit in front of electronic equipment 24/7. And it's easy to get lost in those worlds. I see more and more people having less social contact. I see more and more mental illnesses and depression and things that are on the rise. And it worries me, especially when it's people that I meet and I like and I care about. But more and more often I find, once when I was younger, you could get on the phone and say to your mates, hey, let's go out and hit the pub, let's just go for a drive, anywhere, go up a mountain, go out the bush. Just drive for the sake of driving. And these days people become all, oh, I'm sorry, I'm too busy, or sorry, I've got things arranged with friends. And that arranged with friends is sitting on Facebook, talking to strangers across the other side of the world that they will never meet. They get invested in these games, and so they don't sleep, they don't eat properly. Instead of cooking up a nice steak and vegetables, it's a cup of noodles, a bag of Doritos and a bottle of Coke. And those in themselves aren't a bad thing, but you know, we're designed to sleep a certain amount of hours. We have nighttime. You know, every animal in the world, thanks to the way that the science has designed the universe, we have a night cycle. All these other animals, you know, sleep at night and things, and we've become unnatural. We're living in a 24/7 world now. And I just want to say, you know, you got to get out and live. You've got to do something. You can't just sit at a computer and playing games all the time. You've got to interact with real people. We're not designed to communicate through a screen. You know, we're creatures of physical connection, whether it's holding somebody's hand or being in the same room for them. You know, dating, everything's changed, and it saddens me as I see people basically become monsters because they've lost that connection to their fellow humans. You know, so I just want to say, gaming's great. Gaming is fun. I'm not saying don't game. I mean, hell, I'd be a hypocrite if I said that, but you've got to know when to cut off. You've got to know when enough's enough. You've got to know that your computer doesn't just have an on switch. Your phone doesn't just have an on switch. It also comes with an off switch. You've got to know when to step away. You've got to take a break. You've got to, you know, that girl you're talking to on Facebook that you like, Snapchat, don't talk to her. Or talk to her, but, you know, ask her out to a movie, ask her out to dinner. Ask your friends, hey, you know, because I'm on the computer every day. I sit at the computer so much because that's my job. Whether I like it or not, but I know when to step away. You know, and if you're not working with a computer and it's your recreational thing, get out and meet people. Because when you cut yourself off and you're not living healthy, eating healthy, you're not exercising, you're not sleeping, when computers and games become your be-all and end-all, you end up like Golem in these precious. It's like sort of anything, too much of it. It becomes a problem, you know. I'm not a perfect person, but I call stuff as I see it. And it upsets me and it worries me to see people, perfectly good people, perfectly intelligent people, people that have a lot of potential, putting it down the toilet for some pixels. You know, somebody comes to my house and tries to stab my wife. That matters. I'm going to get angry about it. Somebody tries to harm my kids. That matters. I'm going to get angry about it. Somebody kicks my dog. I'm going to, you know, get mad. But somebody destroys a few pixels on my computer screen. It's pixels. It's having it in perspective. You know, it's not anything of worth. You know, you've got 1,000,000 gold in RuneScape. You've got 1,000 XP levels or whatever, you know, in World of Warcraft. What does that get you in life? What is it worth? It's worth nothing. You can't go and spend those Facebook bingo game money down at your local pub or supermarket. How does it make you happy? You know, you're dealing with people that aren't people that you meet when you meet them. Very rarely. I'm one of those people you meet me, you know, you get exactly what you see. And it worries me that, you know, so I've got to say to people, if you've got depression, depression won't cure itself. You've got to face with what's making you depressed. You know, whether that, and you can't, a lot of people can't do it on their own. You've got to talk to friends. You've got to find medical experts, social workers, you know, talk to a family member. If you're feeling alienated and cut off, you can change that. It's all, you know, within your grasp. You know, if you feel like you can't get out of the house, you know, I moved to this place, the town I'm in at the moment, about 6 years ago, and I don't know too many people up here. But I make the effort to make new friends all the time. I go nuts if I sit at home by myself. The term for it's called going stir crazy. It happens to people that are in confinement. But the difference between a prisoner, per se, who can't let himself out of his prison cell, is we can always open that front door, we can always walk away. You know, a reasonable person can see that sitting on a video game 24/7, well, 22 hours out of 24, and then getting 2 hours sleep, sleeping all day. You can't get a job when you're in bed all day. Offices aren't open for job interviews at night, at midnight. You can't find a partner A real partner, sure. You know, you wanna have a girlfriend that, or a boyfriend that's, you know, on the other side of a chat window that speaks via text. I mean, we're not designed to communicate with our fingers. We're designed to communicate with our eyes and our mouth. You know, body language, reading things. You can't see that. You don't get context like you do, you know, with text like you do, seeing a person's face and hearing their voice. You know, this is why I have a preference for using programs like TeamSpeak or voice chats over texting. Our brains are designed to put the brakes on. Like, you know, you're more inclined to think about what you're going to say when you're talking to somebody's face or with your voice, because our brains are wired to that, than with your fingers, where everything that comes into your head goes straight to your fingers and you type out stuff and hit enter before you think about the consequences. It's taking personal responsibility for your life. If you're miserable, it's not my fault. It's not anybody else's fault. It's your own fault, because you're losing control of your own life. You are not taking responsibility. You are not accepting the choices and the decisions you make to get into the situation. And only you can fix it. People can help, but it's like that old saying, you can only help those who want to help themselves. So I encourage people out there. I mean, I see these young people. It's like when I was 16, 17, I played consoles. I played Sega, Master Systems, Ataris, Commodore 64s, arcade machines. But I always did it with mates sitting next to me. And then we'd all go out, run through the streets, you know, get on our bikes and ride and things. And I'm seeing people now, you know, 12 years old, right up to my age, you know, getting into their 30s and their 40s. And they never leave the house. They're just always on the computers. And it's insane. It does you no good. But the only people we can blame for our actions is ourselves, you know. I've been there. I've had moments in my life where they were low and depressing, and you know, I was doing exactly the same thing. It only changed because I decided to choose to do it. I was becoming toxic to people. I was speaking before I thought, and I still sort of speak before I thought, but I'm willing to take responsibility for everything I say and I do. So I just want to say to everybody, take a look at your lives, you know. Video games aren't that important. The people you're dealing with on the other side of the computer screen, they're still people. You know, we're not video games. I mean, most people who deal with me for a long time now, they've only ever heard my voice. They've only ever seen my words. They haven't seen me as the man. And that screen and that sort of communication gives that disconnect. It's like you're not talking with real people, but you know, everybody I speak to, I understand as another human being. I understand they're different to me, that they might not have the same viewpoints. But you've got to be living life, mate. We only get one shot at this. I'm going to be dead one day. You know, that's why I play video games, a bit of escapism and things like that from life. But I know it's not important. It's not the be-all and end-all of the world. But I guess I got raised in that generation where, you know, gamings weren't so mainstream. It was reserved to sort of like the nerds and guys and stuff like that. But now it's pretty mainstream media, and a lot more people are embracing it. But it's not just games, like I said, it's everything. It's social media, phones, everything. So yeah, mate, to the people out there, just turn off your phones once in a while. Turn off the computer, go hang out with your mates. The people that you meet online, say, let's go hook up, have a barbecue. Let's go out, watch a movie. Get off the computer, look after your mental health and look after yourselves. Okay? Like I said, you know, I've got to make sure that I get outdoors, away from that computer from time to time. And like I said, that's my career, that's my living. Yet I sit there and see people that are there by choice, and all they're doing is watching videos, playing games, and then bitching about how awful their life is. And it sort of like makes me think of when we were kids, you'd get the whole, oh, but think about the children starving in Africa. You know? Take responsibility and control of your lives. Learn how to turn off the computer. Look up from your freaking tablets and phones and get out and live. Get into the real world. Feel the sun on your face. You know, the vitamin D. Whenever I'm feeling down, depressed and like shit, getting outside, feeling the fresh air and that sun beating down on me, man, it's scorching today. It makes me feel alive. It makes me feel better because I'm getting from the world what I need. I'm not getting that when I'm sitting in front of the glow of a computer screen. So that's my advice, you know. I love my fellow man and things, and I guess I care too much, and that's all I want you to do, is get out, live your lives, and do something with them. Get out there.